I remember the cake more than his words. It was leaning slightly, the frosting sliding off one side like it had been rushed. Someone had put the candles in crooked. I was standing because there weren't enough chairs, plate balanced in one hand, smiling in that practiced way you learn when you don't want to seem difficult. Then my father had already been drinking. Not sloppy, just loose enough to feel bold. He raised his glass, cleared his throat, and said it like it was a punchline he'd been saving. "If you disappeared tomorrow," he said, "no one would miss you." There was a half-second pause, then laughter. My aunt snorted. My cousin shook his head like it was classic dad. My mother didn't laugh, but she didn't object either. She was busy cutting the cake, eyes down, focused. I smiled because that's what you do when everyone else decides something is funny. Later, someone clapped me on the shoulder and said, "You know how he is." As if that explained anything. I went home that night and lay awake, not angry. That surprised me. I kept waiting for the heat to come, the hurt. Instead, there was a quiet click in my chest, like something aligning. I started noticing things I had trained myself not to count. The mortgage draft that came out of my account every month because my credit was better. The electric bill in my name because I'd handled it once. And it stuck. The groceries I paid for because I worked closer to the store. The internet because I needed it for work anyway. I wasn't thanked. I was expected. When I came home late, no one asked how my day was. When I came home early, someone asked if I could pick something up. When I mentioned being tired, my father said, "That's life," like I was being dramatic. I tried, once, to pull back. Just a little. I said I might move out soon. My mother frowned. "Why would you do that?" "This works." That was the word. Works. So I didn't argue. I didn't announce anything. I didn't threaten or demand respect. I just stopped holding the structure up. The first thing I did was open a new account at a different bank. Then I changed my direct deposit. Then I canceled the automatic payments one by one, that slowly enough that it didn't set off alarms. Mortgage, utilities, internet. I forwarded my mail. I found a small apartment across town. Nothing special. Quiet. I moved my things over 3 weekends, a backpack and a few boxes at a time. No dramatic exit. No slammed doors. The night I left for good, no one noticed. My father was watching television. My mother was on her phone. I closed the door gently. The silence in the apartment was strange at first. Not peaceful, empty. I kept waiting for my phone to buzz with a question or a request. It didn't. 3 days later, the first missed payment triggered a notice. Then another. Then another. The calls didn't come to me. They went to the house. I know because my phone started lighting up after that. Missed calls at first. Then texts. "Did you change something? The bank says the payment bounced. Call me's." I didn't respond. When the utility company sent a shut-off warning, my father drove to my work. He stood in the lobby, red-faced, asking the receptionist where I was like I was a delinquent employee. My manager called me into her office, concerned. I explained calmly that it was a personal matter and that he wasn't authorized to discuss my finances. She nodded, professional, and asked security to escort him out. That was the first time authority entered the story. The second was when the mortgage company sent formal notice. The house wasn't in foreclosure yet, but the language was clear. Consequences were no longer theoretical. That night, my mother left me a voicemail. Her voice was different, tight, controlled. "We don't understand why you're doing this," she said. "If you're upset, we can talk. But this is extreme. Extreme." As if I'd burned the place down instead of stepping away. My father texted later. Short, angry. "You think you're teaching us a lesson? You're being selfish." I listened to the messages once. Then I archived them. Weeks passed. They figured things out eventually. Loans were reshuffled. Accounts reopened. The house stayed standing. No one apologized. At a family gathering I wasn't invited to, my cousin asked where I was. My aunt said, "Oh, he's doing his own thing now," like it was a phase. I saw my father once at the grocery store. He looked older, smaller. He didn't say anything. Neither did I. Sometimes I wonder if he remembers the joke. If he remembers how easily everyone laughed. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. What I know is this disappearing didn't make them miss me. It made them notice the absence of what I provided. And for the first time, that was enough information for me to stop trying to be anything else.